floor of the United States Senate. It's time for all of us to keep our promise to coal miners and to make the Miners Protection Act permanent law, and to keep our promise to those miners and their family. And I would yield the floor. And want to again commend and salute the senator from West Virginia as I yield the floor.
Mr. President,
Senator from West Virginia.
I want to thank my dear friend from Pennsylvania, my neighbor state, for his commitment to the hardworking people that have made this country what we have today. You know, there's a lot of people who don't really know the history of how we are the superpower of the world, how we won 2 world wars, how we energized the whole industrial might, how we built the middle class. It came because of the domestic energy that we basically extracted right here in America, and it was done by mine workers. My grandfather came to this country as a young child in the early 1900s, and his family came here to find a better life. On both sides, I had one set of grandparents came from Czechoslovakia, the other set came from Italy, and they both ended up in the coal mines, and all of my uncles, my cousins, and we had the little coal camps all over the area I grew up in, Farmington, West Virginia. And I was so proud of the heritage I had, and my, I'll never forget, my Boy Scout leader was Pat Keener, and he was a coal miner. And when the coal mines automated in '59, he had to go on and find a job up in Ohio in the auto industry. My Little League ball player, my Little League coach was a coal miner. Everybody that I knew, the hunting and fishing clubs, were all coal miners that took all of us and showed us how to do things and enjoy the outdoors. It's just an unbelievable network of people, and most all of them were military. Most all of them were veterans. And they continued to serve their country when they left the mines and went to the military and came back to the mines. So I rise today really with a heavy heart, because I thought we had this fixed. I thought this was something that we had done, and Senator Casey laid it out so well. And we have done everything. This day's been coming for quite some time. I warned everybody 2 years ago that this finite time would come, December 31st of this year. And we started working in earnest quite a while ago. And we were told, as you said, to go through the regular order to do things we were supposed to do. It got its full purview, if you will, and it passed bipartisan. Everyone is sympathetic. Everyone knows the hard work that's done and how hard that work and dangerous that work is. My uncle, on my mom's side, got killed in a 1968 mine explosion in Farmington. I lost a lot of kids that I went to school with, classmates, so it's been very near and dear to me. As governor of West Virginia, Sago mine disaster, I lost 12 miners there. We had the Logan mine disaster, and I lost 2 people there, and then we had the UBB where we lost 29 people. So I've been through. I know how dangerous and tough this business is, but I know the country depends on it. We can't run without it. And all these people said, so I want to make sure everyone understands, this was never intended for the government or the taxpayers to pay. Never was. Wasn't set up that way. 1946, John L. Lewis basically said, we're going to go on strike. We're pulling everybody out. After World War II. Now, the economy had been ramped up because it was 100% employment. We were producing everything and consuming because of the war effort. When that happened, then the economy starts down. And he says, oh no, we can't. We got to build this, keep this economy going. We can't let this tail off. And they said, listen, from the beginning of the 20th century until 1946, 46 years, these miners have done backbreaking work. They got, when you heard the old adage that I owe my soul to the company store, my grandfather told me when he worked in the mines in the early 20s, he had 4 children and was expecting the 5th child. And he said at the end of the day, he said he had no money. All the script was at the company store. He had to buy everything there at the end of the month. He owed them for working, trying to make it. Had no health care. Had a little doctor there that helped him a little bit, but he had no health, no pension, retirement. They worked until they died, and that was about the way it was. And in 1946, they said enough's enough. You shouldn't toil and you shouldn't work this hard and so many people benefit. You help build a country and you get nothing. So they said from that day forward, and that was the Krug Amendment that was signed and by the blessings of the United States President, Harry S. Truman, then they said from that day forward, all the coal that we mine, percentage of that coal, or the money on that percentage of coal, would go into a black lung fund. And then it would go into the AML fund. And then it would go into the miners, basically, health care and retirement, their pension and retirement. A portion of that. So it wasn't coming from taxpayers. It was coming from the work they were producing. That's where this came from. Everything's going fine. And then basically, Congress basically passed bankruptcy laws that allowed companies to go and declare bankruptcy and basically divest themselves of all the responsibilities for the people that work for them. And this was dumped on. We had the 74 plan, we had the 92 plan. So we're dealt with something that was not the makings. These people negotiated contracts in good faith by bargaining. And they would give away salary or money that could have been in their pocket because they knew they were going to get guaranteed health care. And now here we stand, basically saying, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. You're going to lose your pension and health care. We have over 16,000 that will lose their health care benefits by the end of this year, less than 4 weeks away. 16,000. Senator Casey read some letters. I'm going to read some letters too. What we're doing here is we're holding up, and Mr. President, I know that it affects all the hard work. This is something that's not easy for me. I've never done this. I've been here 6 years. I've never used this procedure. But I have never felt so committed and so beholden to people that have given so much. We're talking of 60, 70, 80-year-old widows. Most of their husbands have died. Most of their husbands have passed on. And they're still dependent on this. This is the health care they have. The little clinics that we have in the coal communities around West Virginia, southwestern Pennsylvania, those coal communities and those little coal camps and those basically little clinics will not survive. This has a ripple effect. Now I'm understanding that they're going to give us a 4-month extension. 4 months. Now let me tell you what these people have gone through, and I'll read these letters. They were told in October, the 1st of October, that you will lose your benefits of health care. 16,000 were sent letters. You're going to lose them by the end of the year. End of this year. Now what we're about to do, which I believe is totally inhumane, we're about to now send them another letter. If it passed away, it's going to be presented to us in the CR that, I'm sorry, Mrs. Smith, I know we told you you're going to lose your health care on December the 1st, but now we're going to tell you that on January we'll send you another letter and tell you you're going to lose it in April. Now you tell me there's anything fair about that. You tell me how you face people that have given everything, and now we're just going to extend it for another 4 months with no certainty that anything will continue from there. We're asking for a permanent fix. We have a pay for that permanent fix. It's the excess that we have, surplus, in the AML money. But everybody has other plans for that. Well, guess what? The people need it have plans also to try to keep themselves alive. That's the plan they have. And that's what they're asking for. So I haven't ever used this tactic before, but I feel so compelled that I said we're going to do whatever we can to keep this promise. And we've asked for the health care. This had a health care pension provision. It has only the health care provision right now because we understand that we worked and we negotiated and we said this is something that we felt that we needed now because it had a finite time, the end of this month. We'll work on the pensions next year too to make sure they're going to be preserved. But with that being said, I've gotten letters the same as everybody else in the coal country that we come from. I have one from Joanne Stevens. She says, Dear Senator Manchin, without action, I, along with thousands of other coal miners and widows of coal miners, will lose our health care on December the 31st. My husband died in 2012 of pancreatic cancer. He also had black lung. He loved his job, even though it was so dangerous and hard. He believed he was working to ensure a good retirement and health benefits, not just for him, but for me and our family. I'm asking Congress to please do the right thing and don't let us lose our health care benefits. I have another letter. This is Carol Turk. Carol writes, my husband worked in the mines with blockages in his brain until he had enough time. He worked even though he was that ill so that I would have insurance if something happened to him, knowing that he was very ill. Well, he retired in 1929. He passed away in 2011. He was a good worker. He stayed over and he worked days off when needed. And this is how they thank him in return. How is an older person supposed to live when they take away your retirement, take away your insurance, and never give you a raise in Social Security? Everything raises, and medical is outrageous. I guess when you're old, they expect you to crawl in a corner and die. Well, I pray every day that God gives me another day, and I'm praying they pass this health care provision so that others and myself can live just a little bit longer. And I have another one. She says, "Dear Senator Manchin and all of you who are trying to help us, my husband Charles passed away October 12th from cancer. Patriot Coal filed bankruptcy before Charles passed away. He told me that if he took his medical coverage, that he would not go to the doctor because he didn't want to leave me in debt if he didn't get medical coverage. So he didn't want to go to the doctor. My income was cut almost 75% when Charles passed away. Charles was promised these benefits for us both. He worked all those years in coal dust to help supply this country with the energy that it needed. I pray that our government pass this bill to help the thousands that will be affected by not having health care. Some people will choose to buy medicines instead of food. This is so sad, and coal miners work in the mines and risk their lives for so long. Some people that have never worked can get help under the new health care law. So why not help the ones that have worked and paid for it? Why can't they get what they were supposed to get?" She says, "I'm proud to be an American and a daughter, a sister, a wife, and a mother of a coal miner." I have one here that explains it very well. She says, "Dear Senator, I have educated and have dedicated my life to a career in nursing in Boone County, West Virginia. My husband developed a kidney disease and heart disease at an early age. He did not smoke, drink, nor do drugs. He possibly absorbed cadmium. During the work, he developed an autoimmune disease some other way. He worked very sick for 30 years, underground in the coal industry as an electrician in the mines and maintenance worker. He was an educated man, but he loved working with his hands. And after coming out of the U.S. Air Force, when he worked in the World Communication Agency as a cryptographic specialist in the White House, he chose to go into mines as a career because of the reliable future, retirement, and health benefits that it assured for his family. Rick worked hard every day, and during the last 15 years that he worked, he would sometimes travel over 45 minutes away and take chemotherapy treatments to treat his kidney disease while he was still working. He had heart disease that set up as a result of those treatments, so many heart studies, stents, and bypass surgery followed, along with a continual renal disease. All these years he worked in the mines providing electricity to so many who worked other jobs. They were comfortable in their homes, sitting in their desks, not risking life nor limb for the luxuries afforded them by the coal miners, who had been promised health and retirement benefits if they took less pay, did not strike, and continued providing the valuable coal resources this country needed. After educating me to be on my master's level, putting a girl through medical school and another daughter to master's level in teacher education, we depleted many of our financial resources to do this, knowing we had secure retirement and health plan through his union. During the last 1.5 years of his life after retirement, Rick died of leukemia that developed from many years of chemical treatments for his autoimmune kidney disease. Meanwhile, I worked another 26 years as a school nurse, plus additional years as a registered nurse, planning to utilize my husband's percentage of retirement and health benefits to secure my retirement. When the courts of this land allowed bankrupting companies to fold on their commitments to our miners, that has become a frightening, impossible situation for myself, a widow, and many more in my same situation. Devastation is the only word that can be used to describe the trickle-down effect it will have on so many other businesses and health agencies. If this congressional action does not carry through to secure our union miners, retirees, and widows, you are not only destroying the 12,000 plus miners, but the other 20,000 and widows involved. You are destroying huge infrastructures and businesses that depend on the income and health benefits where these individuals are served. Please note, only the union miners contributed to these funds, not the non-union miners who chose much higher wages opposed to the union wages and structure. Please consider this so that we can go into Christmas knowing we have the security, of the fund being stabilized. Some will have no way out. Some individuals will literally not survive without the needed health care and pensions they work and sacrifice their health to obtain. Thank you. This is Sue Perot from South Charleston, West Virginia. We have many, many more. The thing that I want to emphasize, there is real people. This is not just something that we're fabricating. This is people that work every day. These are people that are still living, still contributing, still taking care of their families, still depending on the health care. The ripple effect is unbelievable. And to sit here and say that we're going to pass a CR because we want to go home for Christmas early, to say that we have the comfort of being home and we've got 16,000 minors retired. We have their widows and families depending on health care, and they've been told they're going to lose it December the 31st. But we're in a hurry to leave. We just can't wait to leave. We've got to get out of here. Well, I'm sorry. That is not the way we do it back home. It's not how we treat our friends and neighbors, and especially not how we treat our minors. And I'm asking all of you to work with us to make sure we get a permanent fix. That's all we're asking for. We have a way to do this with the surplus AML funds to pay for that. That's money that was made from mining of coal to be used for this. That's what we're asking for. That's what we promised them. That's what we owe them. So I thank all of my colleagues, each and every one, for being so considerate. We've had a bipartisan support, and I'll say this. If this was a standalone bill on this floor, it would pass. This bill on this floor would pass with Democrats and Republicans working together. It would pass on the House also. But that's not the case. We can't get a standalone bill. We have what we have. We're asking for the compassion of our leaders on all sides of the aisle here to give us a clean, give us a long-term fix for our health care for the retired miners as promised. And with that, Mr. President, I yield the floor to my dear friend from Ohio.
Mr. President.
Senator from Ohio.
Thank you. I thank the presiding officer, and thank you, Senator Manchin, for driving this issue. It's